Most readers never get beyond page 12. If you've heard that statement before and it makes you wonder why you should ever bother writing a book, then this video is for you. I'm Ann Shibani, and I'm the founder at Summit Press Publishers, and I've certainly seen my fair share of manuscripts that would make me stop reading well before the 12th page. There's an entire industry built around this idea that readers will never get beyond the 12th page. Now, the idea is to be a published author, even better, a best-selling published author, and you don't need to worry about quality. And the idea is to get your work out there and get it out there fast because there are people who need your message. And don't worry about being Hemingway. And why bother if no one gets beyond page 12 anyway? So there's a lot to be said for having a book to your name and to have the bestseller status because it does lend you some credibility. But if your goal is to be read from cover to cover, to provide true value to your reader, to impact lives, and to grow your business because of your book, then getting your readers to move beyond page 12 is kind of something you want to do. So if you're anything like me, you've stopped reading before page 12, and I've stopped reading before page 12, and there's a bunch of reasons we do that. First and foremost, we can't figure out if the book is meant for us in the first place, or what we're going to get from spending 8 hours with this author, or what the outcome for us is. Because if I'm going to invest 8 hours in a book, I got to know what I'm getting out of the book, particularly if it's a prescriptive nonfiction book. In order to get our readers to move beyond page 12, we have to signal to them that they are in the right place, that we are writing for them, that we've got a message that they're going to find valuable, and that we're going to provide them with an outcome that is relevant and valuable to them. And in order to do that, we have to stop, drop, and roll and do a little bit of thinking. So part of the problem with the quick hit, build a book in a weekend industry is that it doesn't allow you time to think. It doesn't allow you time to strategize. You can be a pantser or you can be a plotter. And a pantser is the type of person that is inspired to hit the keyboard and to begin writing and see where the book takes them and to be free and to get downloads from the universe. And invariably what happens with pantsers is they get to a certain point in their writing and they recognize that they have a bunch of plot holes and that they don't really know what the outcome is, and they've got to go back from the beginning and fix a whole bunch of things until they get it to a point where they can move on. And what happens for a lot of people is they quit because no one likes looking at a hot mess and figuring out ways to fix it. A plotter, on the other hand, is far less sexy. They're sitting down and they are drawing out an outline, and they've got a chapter by chapter series of plot points that they're working towards, that they've already crafted, that they've figured out, so that by the time they finish writing, there are no plot holes and there's very little revision, and it's a satisfying experience for the writer, which means that they sit down beforehand and do a little bit of strategic thinking. And by doing so, the writing process is 1,000 times easier, and the reader's enjoyment goes up by a factor of, I don't know, 1 billion. So putting it back into the non-prescriptive world, how do we move away from the idea that our reader is going to stop reading at 12 pages and expect them to read from cover to cover, not only read it once, but read it again and recommend it to other people, and then change their lives because of it? It means sitting down and getting a little bit strategic. And even before we sit down and write out a plan and write out an outline and make that plan and plot that whole process out, which makes the writing process so much easier and the reading process so much more delightful, is we have to answer some strategic questions. So if you'd like access to some of the most strategic questions that you can sit down and answer so that plotting and then writing is that much easier, you can access it below. And tell me when you look at it that you don't think, oh my God, how much easier it would be to write a non-prescriptive nonfiction book that gets read from cover to cover if I just answered these questions beforehand.